You guys have heard me say it on this channel before that men can't fake masculinity, right? You either are masculine or you're not, right? You either have a lot of masculine energy within you or you don't, right? And it's very difficult to cultivate that. It's difficult to cultivate masculine energy. It's difficult to retain your semen. It's difficult to be sexually disciplined. It's also difficult to do the tough things, right? To work through your emotions, to work through all the difficult things that a man is supposed to work through to actually make him more masculine, right? And that comes with not distracting yourself. But femininity, I believe, also can't be faked, right? So the same sort of logic applies. Femininity is just like masculinity, right? Some women have it in abundance and some women don't. Don't think that women all just have a lot of femininity and they're just like hiding it, or they just got to get in touch with it or something like that. Like, no, because of the choices that they make, because of the lives that they've lived, they have lost their feminine energy, right? I personally believe that feminine energy is absolutely a thing, right? And I believe that women who are very sexually promiscuous, they are constantly masturbating all the time. They're constantly distracting themselves from the pain that they need to feel, right, to get the proper signals to their brain in the form of, whatever their distraction is, weed or nicotine or alcohol or whatever substance, right? Pills. Because of their lack of ability to deal with their reality, I think that they lose their feminine quality too. I think that nature will make a woman more feminine if a woman only lets it. And nature will make a man more masculine if a man only lets it, right? You got to let nature take its course. You got to let nature handle this because nature's in control here, right? You were born a man. The longer you are a man on this earth, it makes sense that you should just become more masculine, right? If you were acting according to nature, which I think most men and women are not even close. Not even close. Not even close. It's like, I think we're all just, I think it's so far gone, people don't even know how far gone it is. It's like we're living in the twilight zone. Nothing is how it should be. And we've gotten so far off track. And that's why, relationships just don't work out. Relationships just don't last. They just don't work out today. Because men and women are acting contrary to their natures, because for all the myriad reasons, right? Men are super lustful. Men, have been brainwashed by feminism. Women have been brainwashed by feminism. Women are super lustful. They're giving away their feminine energy. They're not pure. They're not virtuous. They're not, they're not living the life that they should be living. And I just think that nature punishes. Look at it this way. Nature punishes the organisms that don't live according to nature. It would make sense, right? Like, we're part of nature. We're part of this thing. We can't escape it. We're run by the rules of it as much as we want to think that we're separate, that we're like gods or something, because we have some self-awareness and we have high-level thinking and we have all this complex behavior and our brains are just out of this world, we think that somehow we're separate from everything around us, when really we are slaves to nature. We are nature's slaves. We literally were born with certain biological drives and imperatives and makeups, and it is in our nature. We have natures. We are part of this world, right? And we need to accept this, and we need to start living according to nature. We need to start living, the way that nature intended, because it's clear that there's certain ways of living that nature punishes. And it's punishing because we're doing things that are literally making us weaker, making us less sexually attractive, less sexually fit, less who we're supposed to be, less here, right? We're not even here in reality. We're off in some fairy tale land, We got weird views of the world and ourselves and others, and it's all bad, right? So, I've said it multiple times, right, on this channel, that masculinity can't be faked. You either have it or you don't. That's just the truth. You either have an abundance of masculine energy within you and you're doing all the right things in life, you're taking on all the pain, you're engaging with your reality, becoming more masculine because of this, on top of retaining your masculine energy, you're a masculine force, right? Either you're that or you're not. Or you're that to a very lesser degree, right? It's a spectrum. Either you're doing a lot of it, either you're really high on the spectrum or you're really low on the spectrum. And you got almost no masculine energy and you're very feminine, right? If you don't act according to nature, you will get punished. You will become a feminine man. You will be the ugly duckling, right? There's a ton of ugly ducklings just walking around, men and women combined, that are just acting contrary to their natures. And for women, I believe it's the same thing, right? Women would naturally, like, it, like, for you men out there, like, I'm sure if you talk to any woman, right, she would tell you that there's certain men that they're more gravitated towards. They just have an energy, like the energy about them, right? They're just more confident. They have more charisma. They're just naturally just more chill, more just relaxed, calm. They don't try as hard. Like, they're just all of it is masculine, right? And you can't fake it, right? When you try to fake being masculine with a woman, right, you can fake it for a bit, just as women can fake being feminine for you for a bit. And this is what happens in relationships today. Man, there's so many relationships where women fake being feminine for a bit to get the guy in the door, right? But in actuality, what happens? The veil drops and he sees that she's not feminine at all. And it's not something that she can fake. She either has it or she doesn't. It's not like, it's not like she just is some evil, conniving woman that's just like, yeah, I'm going to act feminine. I'm going to use my femininity to get him, to sway him, to, I'll sleep with him a bit and get him into a relationship, talk all sweet and, do all the house stuff that he wants and just be like the perfect woman. And then right when I want, I'm just going to cut it all off and just take power and take control. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think women, I just think women don't have, first, I think women are toxic. A lot of them are toxic today and they're just unhealthy. Like, they're not developed. And a lot of this is because of their life choices, right? but also they just actually don't have the feminine energy, right? They don't have the femininity within them. They're faking it. They're faking it. It comes off sort of manufactured, right? They don't actually have it. They're not embodied. They're not resting in the feminine. They're not embodying the feminine, right? They're not comfortable in their femininity. They don't have a ton of feminine energy within them, you know? And I think this is just, it's the product of your habits, right? I think it's the product of your habits. I think for women, absolutely, they will lose feminine energy by poor choices, poor sexual choices, poor life choices, you know, because that's who they are. Their feminine energy is their life. Like, that's who they are. That's their identity. And so when you're making choices that cause you to lose your energy, lose your life force, right? They're causing you to lose the essence of who you are. Well, it just makes sense that you would become less feminine, right? You would become less feminine if you're a woman, right? And so I think it's more extreme for some women than others, obviously. You know, some women have it definitely, you know, more than others, for sure. But I don't, you know, I always hear about, you know, women will, and I've experienced this myself too, but women will play a certain part. They'll show a certain side of themselves. They'll act all feminine and tender and loving and sweet and caring, and, you know, just be the girl that you want to sort of get you in the door and get you committed. And then, you know, you start to pick up on things the longer that you're with her, you know, the longer that you date her, you start to pick up on things like sort of, she just, you know, the real her shows, the real her shows, and the real her is lacking in feminine energy, right? Is lacking that quality. She's lacking true femininity within her. If this works for the masculine, because I've said it on this channel before that, you know, you can watch all the videos and read all the books and listen to all the podcasts you want about masculinity and how to get women and how to act and what to say and what not to say and how little to say and how to, you know, how to not care. And like, you know, you have all these things that you research, and it's like all of them will just make you be a robot. And then you're not, because you don't actually have an abundance of masculine energy within yourself, when the time comes, after a certain amount of time passes, a month, 2 months, and you get, you know, you start hanging out with women more, or just even before that, little cracks will start to show. She's going to start to see, oh, he actually don't really got it. He actually isn't really as confident as he is. He's actually not really as sure of himself as he is. He's actually a little more concerned about me than he let on. He's actually a little more worried about me. He's actually a little more interested in me than I thought. You know, he doesn't have as much control or power as I thought he did. You know, he doesn't really have the swagger that I thought he did. It's because you to begin with, you didn't have an abundance of masculine energy. You weren't built real. You weren't real to the core, right? Just a man to the core, like doing all the hard work. There's no easy way, right? I've said it before. There's no easy way. You have to do it the hard way. The only way to be a man, you got to do it the hard way. The only way to be a woman, you got to do it the hard way, right? Life is hard. It's going to make us better. You just have to let nature take its course. You have to let nature just, you know, smack you around, just obliterate you. And it will make you, you know, as a result, it'll just make you a more attractive being, you know? So since you can't fake masculinity, since men can't fake their masculinity, they can fake it for a bit. They can take these, 10-step programs and pay $1,000 and do all these things and say all the right things to get the girl. And she might think you got it for a little bit, but eventually you're going to show, right? When the chips are down, when, behind closed doors, your real nature is going to show. What you really got, who you really are is going to show, right? And if it's not real, she's going to see it and she's going to be like, okay, he's not really masculine. He doesn't really have masculinity. Same goes for her. In all these relationships, when women get men and they fool them and they bring them in and they put on the pretty face, and then the guy starts to see slowly, she says this one thing, he's like, she does this thing, he's like, and like slowly like red flags start to come up, and he's like, wait, she's kind of more difficult than I thought she would be. She's actually a little more of a headache than I thought she would be. Oh my God, now she's saying this, she's nagging me about this. Oh God, like what is this? She don't got her feminine energy, bruh. She ain't actually it. She ain't actually it. That's why these women are doing the same thing that men are doing. These women today in dating are doing the exact same thing that men are doing. How can we not see this? All these men, picture what you're doing, right? You're faking, like most men out there are faking to be a certain way to attract women, right? You're faking to be like this masculine guy, right? You're faking it because you're actually not, really masculine to the core. You smoke weed all the time, you drink all the time, you got no idea what you're doing in life. You're jerking off all the time, you're, just constantly lustful, addicted to women, looking at women on the internet, thinking about women in your mind, concerned about women, just giving away your energy, you're distracting yourself, you're not hardened, right? You're not it true. You're not it to the core, right? All these dudes, especially like young guys, right? It's mostly like young guys, probably, 20 to 25 or something, 18 to 25 or whatever. Like they fake it a lot more. You're faking it when you're not really it. Women are doing the exact same thing. Women don't really got it. That's the thing. Like that's what I'm trying to say is like women don't actually have it. They don't have femininity. They're not feminine. Truly. That's why the most of these women that you get in relationships with, after a couple months, you start to see it. Nothing is what it was before. It wasn't what it seemed. Because they actually weren't real. They weren't real women, right? They weren't truly feminine. I think I'm onto something. I think I've cracked it. These women, it's not like I don't even think it's really they're playing some power game. I think they literally are. They're trying their best. Like they're doing their best to get a man, right? They're doing their best to get a man. And so they put on the correct act, and they watched all the videos on YouTube and they read all the articles about what men want, okay? And so they're like, okay, I just got to act like this and I got to do this and I got to do that. I got to say it like this and I got to bat my eyes like this. Can't play too, I got to play a little hard to get. I can't play too, got to play some games here. Okay. But then once it comes down to it, they're actually not feminine. Because of what their habits are, what they do behind closed doors, And women, I mean, it's no different. Women got to protect their sexual energy. They got to be sexually disciplined. They got to be, they got to be pure. They got to make the right life choices, healthy habits, not smoking or drinking or smoking weed or, taking pills or whatever. They got to do the same things, right? They got to engage with reality. They got to make the hard choices. A woman has to do it too. And that's how she becomes more feminine. She will naturally become more feminine that way if she just lets nature take its course. That's her natural course, right? If men stop their distractions and stop giving away their energy all the time and stop being lustful, the natural way that they'll go is they just start to become more masculine over time, because nature will just dictate it. So it will put you on that course, that path, and you'll just, just going there. Same with women. If women get rid of their distractions, get back into reality, stop giving away their energy, right? Nature will naturally dictate women to go a certain way towards feminine. Have I feel like I've solved something. I've solved something. I'm onto something. I'm at least half right, quarter right. I don't know. Could be all right. But I think that's definitely what's going on here. Personally, I think that's definitely what's going on here. It makes sense to me. Like intuitively, experientially, from everything that I've sort of experienced myself and sort of seen about the way that the world works, it makes sense to me. This like makes the most sense, you know? Yeah. So women can't fake femininity. You know, they're no exception either. We as men, we sometimes get caught in the trap of thinking like women are feminine until they just want to be mean and masculine. I'm not sure it's that. I'm not sure. I think they actually try as hard as they can, but deep down, deep to the core, they're actually not feminine. And that's the problem, because who they really are is not feminine. Just like the problem for men today is that who they really are really isn't masculine. They're just trying to fake it. I think I've said enough. That's it. That's the video.